In the jungle, the mighty jungle. Handy. Done. Gun done. A smart foe would lead. See that rubber scrap? That'll add a bit of bounce for you. The Pichu Fortress. Wonder how they'll take you. Let's see. Anything could be hiding out there. It's the Pichu Nanchuk.
Amawi to a toy in
Fair trade. Ask. The place feels like it has teeth. The leaf roof almost blocks out the sky. Biohazard makes your skin crawl. Get out of here. half his health. Someone always thinks they can beat you. The forest has so many kinds of trees. There it is, the tree of life. The idea that all life is related by common descent, where the twigs are existing species and those produced in the past represent the succession of the extinct. The tree's great branches were once budding twigs, a connection between the past, present, and future. A representation of all extinct and living species with its ever-branching and beautiful ramifications. We are an evolution of those that came before. You have the grace. If the mount didn't throw you, you're good. You can make so many amazing things out of wood scrap. Let's see. It's a place well hidden. It's just below the above. Out of Date's impressed you made it this far, but there's still so much left to do. The end of the world is still on everyone's minds. You've beaten a path where you have the power to destroy or save everyone. Question is, what you'll do with that responsibility. He worries about you. If you love yourself, you don't hurt others. But the more you hate yourself, the more you want others to suffer. Thinks it's important that you remember who you are and where you came from. Someone without knowledge of their history and origin is like a tree without roots. It's important to stay grounded. You share the same fate as the tree. Out of Date says there's a time for everything. And now there's no use thinking of the past, for it's gone. Think of the present, because that's where you are. It's time to set your priorities as the one who completes things. He's worried that you're putting the world at risk. But darkness isn't necessarily the end of the world. It's just another perspective. If the world really does end, there won't be anywhere to run. So he's prepared for the worst, something he calls the Ark. Two sides to everything, but for him it would be devastating if you were forced to use the Ark to escape while the world crumbled. Out of Date says there's no clear record of the chain of events that changed the course of history and brought the world to its knees. He's found evidence on the Ark, records of a crisis, decades of contamination that permeated the ground and broke its inner core. The contamination disrupted what we now know as Ki energy, the life force that runs through all things, living and inanimate. He's been told the blight affected everything at a genetic level and turned our perception of normality on its head. It was only those that changed that avoided extinction, proving that the possibility for survival and renewal was real. He understands you are curious about the ship at the foot of the tree. He says it surfaced when the oil broke through the ground. The Ark predates the back-in days, and now, after years of study of the manuals he found inside, he believes he's figured the ship out. The Ark has room for 4 more, even if you think no one else is worth saving if the world comes to an end. He'll keep the seats open, and you are free to invite up to 4 others to join you in the Ark in the event of a cataclysm. Out of Date says the word about what you've done so far is spreading. The tribes haven't lost hope yet. He appreciates what you've done so far, but unfortunately he's had urgent news from his friend Wiz in the northwest. He knows you're good-hearted enough to give Wiz the support he needs. He says he'll point you in the right direction, but finding Wiz and making sure he gets what he needs is up to you. That doesn't sound good. Out-of-Date's hunch is real. The Merc Puff is up next. Out-of-Date says that Wiz is worried now that the Northwest World Eater is stepping up its activity. He explains that Wiz is working on an undersurf vessel in order to get to the World Eater, but needs help to get it done. Out-of-Date suggests that you should head northwest as fast as possible and see what you can do to help. He wonders what's on your mind. Says you'll meet again. Let's see. Never known the cold. Filthy. That might come in handy. You located the village named Loblidurk. Fair enough, all around. You're... Never know what you might find. got what you wanted. Let's see. Check out that rubber scrap. You're galvanized. What a blow! Only you can pull you up. You could try living in harmony with what you can't see. E-waste, hard to find. Plastic scrap stays forever, but maybe you can make something out of it. The Surge Surf Factory. Keep your eye out for Whiz while you're here. Let's see. You could be a secret here forever. Toxanol's mining led to mass deforestation and increased global warming, as nature couldn't absorb the carbon dioxide and greenhouse gas emissions without the trees. These irreversible changes to the climate also contributed to the evolution and modified our genetic code. Wuz isn't easy on the tongue, but I think he says he's happy to see a friendly face. Not too many of those around these days. Says it's good to see you again. He's Wiz. You might remember him from the old days when he let you try his octopod? Wiz remembers you were such a cheery kid, and he's glad to see that light hasn't faded from you, despite the years. But Wiz understands it was a long time ago, and memories get murkier the deeper you go, but says it helps to have friends with you to plumb those depths. They've been here for you since you were a kidling, but when you left, you also chose to distance yourself from everyone that cared for you. Wiz says our memory keeps things for us, preserves them until we are ready to face them again. He knows you've returned to face Looper Lupin, and that confrontation is as inevitable as the tides. He's not surprised that the loss of your family could plunge you into the depths forever, but you've always been able to rise like a bubble to the surface, no matter what. He knows that though the tides of history may push you in one direction, you can always lay your own course. He feels you've deserved revenge because of how you were wronged. You've suffered enough to make him pay. Asks if you ever think about freedom and whether any of us really has it. Did you make the decisions that brought you here, or are you just a pawn of fate? Glad to hear that. He only wishes he was that sure about himself. Sad that the world is close to death. Wonders if he might be able to hold out a bit longer in an octopod. Wonders why you felt like kicking the world so hard when it was already down. Fascinated you wound up working with the Jagni. He thinks of them not as makers, but takers. Just wishes they'd collect their own things instead of taking them from others. But that's not nearly as important as this. Wiz says that you should let the past dwell in the depths, but there's something else down there too, gnawing at the Tree of Life. He's named it the Merc Puff. This is why he's tinker-tonkering with the octopod. But the lid got stuck, so he needs a big enough tug twister to open it up and let you a-going. He can't leave the surge station, so you must help him find a tug twister. There's a wound-up mecha Fingro in the mecha stadium that still has one stuck on its back. Find it, and you'll find the tug twister. Getting that tool will help turn around the situation for sure. It'll definitely help him unshut the hatch. Ready to roll? The day is calling. Let's see. Glad to see some wood scrap there. Bang Shelter 11 just the place to ride out a storm. Rats. It's a cold zone. Even a thick coat of fur is enough to keep you warm here. This place can be dangerous. That's some sharp wood scrap there. Watch for splinters. An old home. Could be something to it. Hard to spot enemies here. You need to turn the pegs in sync. You really put a spin on it. Whoa, that's some skronky metal scrap there. Plastic scrap like that over there could be useful. wood scrap seems like it would be perfect for your plans. Nothing is dry anymore. Move like a dancer. You found a brick-rack that's not absolutely flat. Take care in the rain, all right? You found a brick-rack that's not absolutely flat. Smell that? Biohazard nearby. Check out that e-waste. That's a good find. Don't want to point a finger, but the Meta Stadium is near here. Locked, but good. Gonna need a key of some kind. Locked solid. The night feels dangerous, and you need to line up the switches so they match. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate. You need to loosen the bolts without unsettling it. That's it. The tug twister's loose. Let's hope it turned the grabbing hand into a helping hand, too. It's Bionucleus 10D. The contamination from these affected the DNA of everything that lived and breathed back in the old days. Metal scrap, that's the good stuff. As long as karma exists, the world changes, and we change with it. Let's see. Good morning to you. That's active biocontaminated sludge. Enough goo to cause a flux at a molecular level. Perhaps now you can see your targets better. Let's see. He believed the tug twister would do the trick, but now realizes brute force won't do the trick. You need something slick. Well, he means slick as in greasy, so you can lube the hinges of the lid. He can't argue against the fact your fur's shiny. He says the lid should open if you sprinkle grease it. Problem is, he's all out. He knows his old friend Choo-Choo always keeps his grease sprinklers well filled. He should have an extra that you can borrow. He stresses that you should come back as soon as you've retrieved the grease sprinkler. The Merc Puff is crunching bark by the minute. Wants you to think of it as a black tar spritzer. The dead zone is full of that slimy black goo. It's good for fuel, but it's also slippy stuff. Dawn feels like greeting an old friend. Ask. There's some bouncy rubber scrap over there. First step is taking things you don't want and making them into things you do. An old munch house. Imagine having hot food brought to you. Didn't expect. Seems that the knobs need to be aligned so the device can load its program. Check out that day.
Badam wags si logo partinea falish. Always good to have some wood scrap like that on hand. Grit. Even the sound seems sharper here. Smart foe would lead. Bullets everywhere. You're hurt bad. Goga.
This
We shaku hariz vaksan u in vitze njavov.
That's some good e-waste there. You've reached the end of the line. Bet you can find Choo Choo here. Let's see. Choo Choo knew you would make it to him one day. All you had to do was follow the steel path. The rails might be getting rusty, but eventually they all converge on him. Says the name is Choo Choo, and he likes to ride the rails. Says you followed the rails to where you need to be, but tracks have switches in them too. The question is then, will you keep on the same track or look for a way to hit that switch? He thinks you're on a dark path right now, but there's no reason you can't find a wheelhouse and get yourself turned around. Whichever way you go, he wants you to know that the rails never steer you wrong. Stick to them and they always bring you right to where you're meant to be. Wants to know if you've ever regretted taking one track in life instead of another. If you could go back, would you switch tracks or keep chugging along the one you're on? Likes your sureness, the way you keep at it like a chug-chug with no way to reverse. Feels like the world's on a runaway chug straight over a cliff. Says the world might have lasted longer if you hadn't stomped on the go pedal so hard. Thinks you shouldn't work with the Jagni. They once tried to bolt one of their masks to his face. And it hurt, but he kept the mask, just in case. But let's not get derailed. Says he's surprised to see anyone this far out, but sometimes the wrong train does take you to the right station. As you can see, he didn't plan to make a stop here, but now that he had to, he's really happy to see you. He says his name is Choo Choo. He's been off track since the world started dying, but he's trained his mind to stay positive regardless of the situation. Thinks that's fine, but there's no path in this world that's not been already made. He's convinced the tracks are like the paths our lives take, and you must deal with the outcome, even if you didn't lay them yourself. This time, though, he was sidetracked and needs a new wing nut to get back on track. Wing nuts are easy to find, as they're fitted on any in-front chugger-chugger out there. The challenge is taking them off, so he's happy you're here to do it for him. Says there's nothing to it, just don't let the chugger chug you down.